scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect from a throw.
I can't on the football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Introducing Mike Cash Collins and Scott Simpson as the Fantasy Millionaires.
Okay. Aliens. Quantum computing. Hunter Biden's laptop. The singularity. Child sex trafficking. Gender affirming surgeries. Bud Light. Donald Trump. Central bank digital currency. Gold. God. And Jesus Christ with a little fantasy football sprinkled in. We are the Fantasy Millionaires. I'm Mike Collins, a.k.a. Cash, a.k.a. the Ralph Macho on Twitter. And I'm joined by the wide receiver 2 theory creator, tweeter and retweeter extraordinaire, my co-host, Scott Simpson, a.k.a. Jesse Simpson, a.k.a. Stacks, a.k.a. Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. Welcome to the other 5 people listening to the greatest, cutest, funnest little fantasy podcast on the internet. Scott, are you ready to turn on your fantasy 2023 degenerate juice?
It's been flowing for the last couple of days. I'm not going to lie, as I've been prepping for the podcast and just, coursing through the veins of excitement as I've been looking at training camp footage. It's real. I don't want to cut you off here, but you left off a few titles since we last saw each other. I won 3 out of 5 leagues last year in PPR league. So I'm a champ, triple champ. I won a lot of money. That was nice. I won our home league. I won the experts league. I won Bo's league. So boom, boom, boom. All the best people I play with, I beat them all last year. That helped me, a little bit to feel good about myself. But I'm not there yet. I still feel bad about myself enough.
AKA Toots, Toots his own horn.
Toots is still here. He's never gone. But I've also become the mayor of Miami. Shout out. And I'm also the Piper of Pittsburgh. Joey Porter Jr., you know what I'm talking about. And then I'm also the viceroy of Quebec. So I don't know if you know all of these stories, but stick around this year for the Fantasy Millionaires. You'll get to hear a few of them as Toots shares his exploits and excitements of the last year and tucks into this fantasy football season. I cannot wait to get started. And we're starting on Friday. You and I we're road tripping it. We are not planes, trains, and automobiles, and hopefully because we have separate beds this time. Woo-hoo, thank God. And don't give me COVID. But we're gonna rocket it up to Ohio, to Canton, Ohio. Swag like Ohio, down like Ohio. We're gonna get down to Canton with the FF Expo. How are you feeling about this?
I'm excited. Yeah. Last year was amazing, and I did catch COVID at the Expo. So I mean, and honestly, I was excited about it because I'm pretty sure I'd had COVID before that, but I never tested positive. So it took the Expo to finally get a positive test. And
congratulations.
Yeah, that was one of many highlights. I was so excited when I finally saw the positive. I'd never tested. I never was official.
Here's what's interesting. I slept in a bed with you. I drove in a car with you, and I did not get COVID. I didn't even get a symptom of COVID. Nothing happened at all.
Two of the 4 roommates had it. So that is interesting.
Right. Half the crew who was hanging out all weekend together, and lots of other people too. And I didn't hear many other people getting it. It seemed like it was just Ewan and Bo who got it,
Right. Yep. But that was the only time I ever officially tested positive, even though I know that within like all of last summer, that was the 3rd time I got it. Because that was like, I remember too that, all the different strains, I don't even remember them now, but there was like a new Midwestern strain going around, and that's what we got. Like, that's what was at the Expo,
You got Midwesterned.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
so excited
happens.
about the Fantasy Football Expo, though. You know, come hang out with the Fantasy Millionaires. I look forward to just hanging out with everybody in the industry. I mean, I just think it's the coolest thing. Last year was my first experience, and dude, it's a really cool thing, man. Like, I mean, especially for us, you know, who are still, you know, just little guys doing our thing. But dude, here we are, dude. Year 4. This is where we're beginning year 4 of the Fantasy Millionaires podcast. So, I'm excited to rub elbows with all the other people who basically are doing the same stuff that we are on different levels.
Oh yeah, and last year we got Ratcliffed. We figured it out. I can't wait. Shout out Shannon, by the way, watching the kiddos. My wife is corralling my children. We are Wi-Fi free upstairs. It is airplane mode only in this house, so we can get all of the Wi-Fi power for this live.
There's a tornado going over us both right now.
There is a tornado as well. I want to give you, if you hear the thunder boomers up there, you know, I'm not passing the gas, as the kids used to say in the old days. The Lord is speaking, and I might have to take shelter. I might lose power. But Mike was safe. Cash Collins, we went by him, so hopefully it goes by me. By the way, I'm loving the beard. We're both rocking beards already. You know,
yeah,
it's beard season. Not you know, huge crazy beard season, but you know, I digress.
I'm gonna trim it up a little bit for the expo. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
I
got you.
Like this.
No. But anyway, I'm so excited. Last year we got to touch base with lots of different people. We got to meet, get to hang out. I think I already see Jody Smith on Twitter just saying, hey, if you're going to be at the expo, come hang out with me, please. Come say hi to me, bother me, you know? And so I'm all about that too. I can't wait to see Sven. Hopefully his brother is drunk as shit eating pizza. I got a picture of him last year just standing off to the side during that first night of hanging outside. He's just housing a pizza. His brother's just eating it. He was in our league. Are
you going to introduce yourself to people as the guy who got a tweet on quarterback on Netflix? Are you going to? Is that how you?
What I'm going to say is, I'm going to say
Scott Simpson as seen on Netflix.
Mayor of Miami, Scott Simpson, aka the Viceroy of Quebec, aka the Piper Pittsburgh, as seen on Netflix. I think Nick Kroll would be proud. You know.
As seen on Netflix.
As seen on Netflix. I'm just going to wear that on a little badge that here it says name. I'm going to say as seen on Netflix, and then that'll be my nickname for the whole weekend. As seen on Netflix.
I watched it. I didn't notice you on it, but I you know, don't blink.
So here's what happens. It is, I think it's episode 5 or 6, and it is when near the end when Mariota goes missing. They don't have footage of him going missing on the show. And so what they had to do is that, I mean, this is my producer brain watching the show. They filled it in with like fan reaction and just what people were saying about it. So it was more, the focus was more, you know, what do we think? Not what is he thinking? Because they didn't have him. He left. He stopped production. He just was like, I'm done. You know, it's over. And so they just flashed my tweet on there. They flashed someone else's tweet first. Then it came mine. Ooh, I can hear him upstairs. The Lord saying hello. So, but yeah, baby. I'm
that. So your tweet made it. You even had to sign a waiver. Now, is your tweet a tweet anymore, or is it an X? What do they call them now?
It's
you got
X.
You sent out an X. Is that what you say now? You X.
But I'll show you this though, because I'm an old school guy and I know how to do this. I'm smart enough to it. Look at my phone here. That's my app. When I go into it, it's still Twitter.
Yeah.
I changed it. I fixed it up. You know what I mean?
How'd you do it?
I
got my secrets.
I got little secrets. I got some stuff. You know, screen grab here. You know, picture there. Download. It's shortcuts on your iPhone. It's not that hard. Then you go in and you make a connection to an app. It's the X app. Obviously, it's a shortcut. But the image that I have there is my Twitter picture. So I feel like I'm still at home. Yeah, I'm still at home. It opens as X. It doesn't say Twitter when you open it. You know, I don't have the magic serum. But
why did they do that?
Why? Well, whoever owns the Commanders next, you know, Josh Harris, he's going to name it something else because he wants himself to be glorified. He wants himself to be seen. You know, it's about him. He just put all his money into it. He put his stamp. You know, his John Hancock, his Johnson, whatever's Woodcock Johnson. You know, it's just a bunch of tea and ego, man. You know,
so yeah, but it's like, dude, you tweet like that's what you do. You tweet. You don't act, that doesn't work.
Doesn't make sense.
It exaculated? What do you?
I X myself out of existence this week.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm X'd out.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense. You can't X.
No,
There's no
Not
way
even-
to describe what you're doing. You're still tweeting.
Right, you're still tweeting. You're not Xing.
All right.
Yeah, it's
That's-
ridiculous. So
That's
but-
dumb.
It's dumb. But anyway, we'll get to an X at the end. We're still going to call it 3 tweets. We're not going to call it 3 X's. That's triple X right there. It's the X rate. We could rebrand. I don't know. We'll have to talk. It's a meeting of the minds right now, because it's 3 tweets. It's 3 X's, triple X. We could call it, X rated. We could call it whatever it is at the end. X rated. That's the
I'll
end.
tell you what. I mean,
it's a
Instagram
good
is
show
so
name.
much funnier than X anyway. It's like we might
Oh,
just switch over there because that's where we send each other stuff all day long anyway.
We're on the gram, just with the funniest memes. I do have follow Nimble W Numbers on the gram, please. He's on there. Nimble W Numbers on the gram. Find him. He's me, just the same Twitter picture, me with the beer. Ironically enough, I'm sober this year, not drinking beer, but I like to just catfish people, who are cool guys, and they're just like, look at this bro.
We got
like-
the Fantasy Millionaires over on the gram too. I think we got like 10 followers or something like that.
We
So
gotta hype that. Yeah, follow us, please.
yeah, follow us.
Yeah, but here's what we're gonna do this week, and then
And follow us on Twitter. Follow us on
Twitter.
X.
On X.
Yeah.
Right. We're
The
the FF
Fantasy
Millionaires. FF
Yeah,
Millionaires,
FF
right?
Millionaires.
Fantasy Millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's FF because we needed that little FF so people knew it was if we put
Mhm.
F Millionaires, people might think we're like hateful against millionaires, which we're trying to
F,
aspire to be.
F those millionaires.
F those millionaires, yo. No. But what we're gonna do this week is we're gonna go over our top 12 or the consensus top 12 that's kind of in the industry. We used a combination of the ADP from 444, which kind of does a combined ADP of lots of different sites, and then we also took Fantasy Pros rankings and took the top 12. We got a good mix of running backs, nice glut of wide receivers, and so we'll do week 1 today, week 2, 3 next week, and then we'll kind of build on there and get you started for your draft. With that being said, before we
Are we
jump
jumping into it now? We're going.
jumping in. Anything
We're
else you want to
jumping
say
in.
before
You
we
don't want
jump
to
in?
talk Jake Paul, Nate Diaz at all?
I saw a video today, and I mean, I don't have it ready, but it was Nate Diaz in 2016. I think it was on the gram, and he's
Right.
just like flexing after he beat the shit out of somebody in the cage. He's just like, yeah. And then they cut to Jake Paul, and he's like dancing for Disney, and he's just like, shirts off. He's like, takes his shirt off. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh man, that's hilarious.
Did you watch any of it? Did you watch any of the highlights?
I watched the highlights. I did not see it live. No, I was watching UFC, and then I fell asleep. So
Yeah, it was too late for me too. I was tired.
yeah, it was a late one.
Yeah.
But I did see the knockdown. It was a good combo. Hit him on the side of the head. Nice little connection there. Not a combo, but a good connection. And he felled him.
Yeah.
But Nate Diaz still talking smack. You know what I mean? Like he's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
And my favorite tweets were like, Nate Diaz didn't lose a fight. He just ran out of time.
It was a little. I watched the highlights. I mean, I don't hate Jake Paul. I mean, whatever,
No,
however
it's just
people feel
funny.
about him, like,
No hate. He's
but
just a
like,
dude
I
who
love
loves
Nate Diaz. So I was rooting, and when I was watching it, maybe it was my own bias, but it was again the Nate Diaz. Like as the fight progressed, like towards the end, he looked like the highlights I watched. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it looked like he had more gas in the tank and was starting to kind of like pour it on a little bit. But I mean, Jake Paul, beat him fair and square. So
Yeah. And I mean, rematch round 2.
I don't know. Whatever. It's all weird, but
Also, somebody I saw right afterwards, I had to clap back. They were just like, put some respect on Jake Paul's name. He's beaten 2 UFC X champs. Da, 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 da. And then I was like, every single one of those dudes has like been retired from their sport or done with their sport or just, 38, 37. Ben Askren looked like he just went to Krispy Kreme before he came over. And so I respect as a YouTuber what he's doing, but as somebody who's watched boxing and fighting for most of my life, since I'm maybe 10, so maybe like 34 years of fighting, I'm not impressed right now with him. Maybe after 30 fights and he's only had 30 rounds. Maybe after that, then I would be more impressed. So I don't feel one way or the other, but I'm glad that he's doing well. You know what I mean? Like I'm not against him. I'm just not like that guy saying, put some respect on his name. He's not beating anybody right now who is good at boxing. And the one guy who is at his level, at his age, who is in boxing, beat him. you know. And I watched that fight, watched the whole fight, and he looked okay. And so, like, I like
looked
the fact.
okay.
I like the fact that Jake Paul has transitioned from being nobody in boxing to being a boxer. Like, that is
Like, he's
awesome.
legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah, he's real. He's real. But he's not like somebody who I'm like, that guy is awesome. He's a really good boxer. Like, Nate Diaz is good, but he's 38. He's
Right.
old. You know, like, give me Nate Diaz, like, yeah, in 2016, he's 30. He's just like just haymakers for days and just you know.
Yeah.
So, but anywho, we are going to talk football, but normally when we start our shows, we recap the week. We talk about whatever we want, and that's really
blah blah blah. We like to blah 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 a little bit.
Yeah, but,
and you know, and then eventually we talk fantasy football, and we can do that. Yeah. So what do you want to do? Let's go. Round one.
Yeah, number one, Justin Jefferson. He is the consensus kind of first pick. Before we do all this, by the way, I want to give you a rundown. Not all the players, but just kind of some of the numbers that we're going to look at here. In the first round, I wanted you to guess, right? How many wide receivers do you think are in this first round now? How many do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, talking first round, I think there's 7 in
6 or 7
the list that we're coming up with.
That
7,
by the way, is crazy.
It's a landscape change. Like, there is a landscape change.
Let's say that in the beginning of the show. I want this to be a gate through which we look through the rest of the season. So if you're with us, this is day one. You know, you're going to be tucking in. Hopefully, you win money. We do. We're good. We win. That's why we're here, right? We don't win all the time, but in the 3 years we've done this show, we have won a championship in every single time, every year. Mike won an analytics league with all the pros. I've won back-to-back championships with the pros in our local area. Like, you know, we are winners. Like, that's just the truth, right? We're not trying to fake you out and buy $9.99. You can have no. Like, this is just free. This is just fun, right? We like to do this and we want to talk about it and build a community of winners with us. But it's been a huge change because it's normally 1 or 2 wide receivers, Travis Kelce, and then all running backs, 8 or 9 running backs normally.
Even Travis Kelce is never really consensus in the first round, and they're putting him in the first round consensus. You know, because he's like wide receiver 5. You know,
he's 100 more points than the next tight end, and that gap is like 6 points a game, and it is how you win your leagues. And we're going to talk about him when he comes up. But first of all, let's talk about Justin Jefferson, because last year he was pick 4, pick 5. It was him and Jamar Chase. We talked about it. I kind of lied on the show. I got to confess. When Brass Balls came out, I went with Justin Jefferson when I had the chance, number 4. So glad I did. It's why I won my league. And so Justin Jefferson, everyone's got him at number 1. Is he a slam dunk for you, though? Is this somebody who you're going, I'm number 1, I'm going to go wide receiver? Or are you going, I'm not going to go with this shift in thinking, and I'm going to stay in the running back track and go Eckler or CMC?
All right. So hold on. Before we get, I'll say a couple more things on the theory, right? No. Here we go. Because he is the consensus number 1. So basically the idea, you know, what we do round 1, then we'll do rounds 2 and 3 and kind of get you prepped up through August. But round 1 is your anchor, right? Like, that's the anchor of your team. Like, you build on, like, that's your pick. Like, that's your defining pick.
Down. Yeah, you're moving in
the road you're going down. Like, whoever you pick, you're making a build around that pick, right? Yeah. So, you know, I think for me, you know, it's between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, right? And, you know, I think, you know, no problem with him being expert consensus ranked number 1. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I think building a championship squad, what you want is someone who's giving you a high volume, like a high amount of points per game, right? In 3 years, he is averaging, I think, let me see, 96 yards, 96.5 yards per game, right? I mean, every year he's taken a step forward. He had 1,800 yards last year, 128 receptions, only had 8 touchdowns. Like, so
nasty.
To me, I still haven't made up my mind. Like if I was on the clock, who I'm going to take between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, because if anything, I think that Jamar Chase might be slightly better, and just like, I mean, just micrometers better of a talent. I mean, and then he has a better quarterback. But if you're draft, like, again, Justin Jefferson has a whole nother year under his belt. So, Jamar Chase takes a step forward this year. So does Justin Jefferson. And we're already seeing like what, the sky's the limit. So I'm toss up right now, between those two. And are those the same two for you?
Yes. If I'm going to go wide receiver, that's the tree. That's like the fork in the road that you have to go. I'm going to go wide receiver or running back or Travis Kelce, which is the third option you can do in the first round as well. No quarterbacks in this show. We're professionals here. You can get a quarterback. You don't need to go in the first round to get Mahomes. People do it in leagues and stuff. But hey, Bo, how you doing?
Bo,
love him. But here's the thing about Justin Jefferson, 184 targets on a team that got rid of Adam Thielen. I know they've got the speedster from Maryland trying to rush his dog to the vet. I like that. Jordan Addison, but and KJ Osborne and TJ Hawkinson, but it's got to be you hear the thunder boomers for me right now. Boom, 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 boom. For me, it's got to be Justin Jefferson just on the volume that he gets. Now, he does see Jair Alexander twice. And last year, the first time, he kind of lit up the Packers in general. And not just Alexander. He moved around the field. He ran out a lot of different positions. But he lit them up. Second game, not so much at all. He got held in check. So that's something you might want to consider, given the difference between and kind of the cornerback play. But also, there's an injury over in the Lions camp. I think they lost one of their best cornerbacks this year for the year. So, one person is amazing, and then you never know what's going to happen with another cornerback or how it goes. So, Justin Jefferson, I think, is the play. But I think they're 1 point apart last year, 1.2 points per game. And if Jamar Chase didn't get hurt, he would have been right up there in that big 350 point level, 360 point, 340 point. That's where Tyreek Hill was. So these guys are the ones who are going to hopefully anchor your team. I'm going to go Justin Jefferson, but I'm not uncomfortable if I have to go with Jamar Chase either. I think either one of those guys is great.
But you've decided you're with the experts on this. It's 100% Justin Jefferson.
I'm just saying this: if I'm going wide receiver, and we'll get to the running backs in a second. If I'm between those two, I'm going to go. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Bo. It is. It's I was a little worried about it. I thought it smelled like cigarettes, but my wife said it was just a little musty. And so, I didn't want to like have a cigarette jersey because, that's not cool. But I'm excited about it. Kills two birds, one stone. Mayor Miami and also the, Piper Pittsburgh. But yeah, do you think that the situation in Cincinnati with Higgins, Boyd, and now Irv Smith Jr., does that not scare you at all, but does that push you towards Justin Jefferson, just given kind of the target volume anticipated Justin Jefferson getting compared to Chase?
Yeah, but see, that's the other thing too, is just, I mean, here's the only other reason too why I feel like if we're drafting today and I have the number one pick in the draft, I'm going to take Justin Jefferson. Okay. Which again, this is like, yeah, it's like kind of historic how much the needle has moved towards what has been going on for a while, that the NFL is a passing league. And this year we're seeing built with your number one, like it's always been a running back at number one, like I've had years in the past where, I was like going rogue and drafting Antonio Brown and it worked out for me, but this was not like an expert move. Like this was just like, playing from my gut, I think Justin Jefferson, right now I'm drafting only because if Joe Burrow hadn't just looked like he got an Achilles tear in his leg, I mean, when you saw that highlight, like they're saying it's a calf and we'll see, I mean, but that's what you look like when you tear your Achilles. Like that's exactly what happens. You run and then you just come up when no one touches you, and then you just start hopping because you can't walk. So I mean, he's a young guy. It probably was just a calf. It probably was, but I guess in this moment I'd go Justin Jefferson just because of that. But I mean, you know, the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow connection is, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if
They in
word
love.
start,
They in love.
yeah,
They love each
if
other.
word starts trickling down the pike, Joey B is good to go. You know, to me, this might be a year where I do go against the grain and draft Jamar Chase first. You know, it's just like, but either way, you know, if you have the opportunity to draft either of those guys, like it's so exciting, you know.
I agree, and I like what Bo was putting out there too. That he was flexing his leg, and that's hard to do with your Achilles snapped or injured. You know, so that's good news. I will say, the one thing about the situation with Jamar Chase is you might be able to in your home league get him at pick 6, 7, or 8, because the thing about it is the industry is not always indicative of what the home leagues do. And not saying that people don't adjust. People will adjust to Justin Jefferson, right? But maybe Jamar Chase falls a little bit because people are like, man, I'm RB ride or die in the first pick. I never, you know, like last year I went Justin Jefferson at pick 4. And then did you go you went Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry, right? Eckler was maybe taken at 3. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I wanted Eckler, I believe, and he wasn't there. And so I said upside pick Justin Jefferson or Austin Eckler. That's what I was going to go. Yeah. So Bo and I like that Chase at that point. That's a nice little pick there. But I think he could fall maybe a little bit down. But the next guys, you know, when it comes to running back, who are you leaning? Are you leaning CMC? I've got both CMC next, and then, you know, our boy Austin Eckler. They're both around the same range. They're a flip of a coin if you're looking at the points, you know, fantasy points per game last year. Eckler almost at 22. Christian, you know, 21 on the nose. So how are you viewing both of these guys? If you get up and you've got them both on the clock, you're lucky. How are you gonna, you know, decipher pick 1A RB, pick 1B RB, you know, right? Because they're right neck and neck.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, again, the experts are, everybody's got CMC. I'll take CMC over Eckler. It just
a lot
seems
of touchdowns
like
last year for Eckler, by the way. Just touchdowns are hard to count on every single year.
Right. I mean, but I mean, back-to-back years for Austin Eckler. I mean, like he had 18 last year and 20 the year before. So I mean, the sample size is there. You know, with Justin Herbert on that football team, their ability to move the ball. At the end of the day, it's just you know, I think it's that he's on San Francisco, and you're going to get to, you know, have Kyle Shanahan putting him in all sorts of cool stuff. We only saw half a season, and it was electric last year. So I think that's why he is, you know, consensus. And then just his career, you know, and he has been, when he's been on the football field, the alpha back in the NFL for his whole career when he's playing fantasy points per game. So again, you know, both those guys, I think, really safe picks. You know, like, you know, they're if you have the opportunity to get McCaffrey or Eckler, I'd go McCaffrey and then Eckler. You know, and then, you know, now that's, you know, that's your potential hero or robust RB build, you know. But both those guys, I think, I mean, last year in BFFs, I wish we put up our scoring system, because I hate that we have to go off these like non-bonus things. Like McCaffrey was in the BFFs number 2 and Eckler was number 1. So
That's
in
how
the
it was last
BFFs.
year for in real life too, though. I mean, if you look at last
Yeah,
year,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, both of those guys scored more than, you know, Justin Jefferson, you know. So, I mean, if you want to go hero RB, those are your guys. I mean, like in our league, if you drafted those guys, you outscored the guy who drafted Justin Jefferson, Scotty Stacks.
Yeah. Well, and I will say that those guys did get drafted before. So the next best pick in our league was Justin Jefferson because you didn't have somebody after those guys outscoring Justin Jefferson. And so, yeah, and that's why either if you go, that's why I said go RB or not. In our league, you know, you do get a little bit more bonuses. We do bonuses for 100-yard runs or over 100 yards, over 200 yards, 50+ yard touchdowns. You get those breakaway McCaffrey, you get a 60-yard touchdown, you get a bonus point. So we do have
last year it was Cooper Kupp, it was CMC, and then Austin Eckler, and then it was Justin Jefferson.
Cooper Kupp not last year because Cooper Kupp got hurt last year. He tore his ACL.
No, I'm saying Cooper Kupp was the #1 pick in the draft for.
Oh, the pick.
No, I'm saying like if you were drafting in 2022, you were drafting Cooper Kupp with your first pick.
Yeah, I did not do that.
Or Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor was the first pick last year. Yeah, but no, you were last year. The bigger shift has been towards wide receiver. And Bo has some good points here too. I wanted to bring up about Kellen Moore moving over from Dallas. He was fired as the offensive coordinator last year because Dallas didn't achieve, and they had to axe somebody. So Moore got axed, and now he's over with the Chargers, and he does not target the running back is one of his points, as kind of shy away from his offensive scheme. But the wide receivers are kind of going to eat, which I do like. Cooper Kupp was last year. He had 22.4 points per game, which was the highest out of anybody.
Dude.
He's coming up. He's coming up. Bo, calm. Keep it in your
they just rode his ass into the ground, which was crazy. But I mean, he was on a breakneck pace. Like, I mean, if you're looking at points per game for the 10 games that he played, he was
number one.
Just doing it again.
Yeah, not 25 points per game, but 27 points per game. But he was 22, which is nice. You know,
if you're looking at fantasy points per game based on just standard scoring, he was number 1. So
I agree.
Yeah,
even on PPR scoring, he was number 1.
Coop Cup. Yeah,
Coop Cup.
PPR is what I'm talking about.
How are you? What's the order for you? We'll get to Cooper Kupp in a minute. What's the order for you, RB wise, after Eckler and CMC? Are you do you have, is there a steep cliff? Are you going either one of those and you're happy? Or are you going, I don't want Eckler, I want Jamar Chase instead? How are you kind of figuring out that wide receiver running back pick when you get down? If you have Eckler and Chase on the clock, how are you going to play that?
Yeah. So the order that we had it was based for this show was based off of ECR and 444
a little combo
ECR rankings.
Yeah,
it was like a combo. So we have
was number 12 in Fantasy Pros, and he was number 13 in the 444. And I put Bijan. I switched Bijan. We need more running backs, and so I wanted to get your thoughts on Bijan too in the first round.
So right now it goes, according to our show's rankings that we're putting out for the first round, it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, Bijan Robinson. Those are your first 12 picks for the Fantasy Millionaires round 1.
AJ Brown is around there too.
I know. I want to decide who.
Adams. Devontae Adams is their pick. They're all right there, and their points per game are really similar to each other too, which is just you're picking in the end. I hate picking in the end normally. I'm excited about it this year though.
Yeah, I wanted to hear who you wanted to put in and throw out at the end of when we get done with Bijan Robinson. But I would say the next for me, it would have been Cooper Kupp. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about the hamstring, so I'll probably go Kelce with pick 5. I mean, why not? Like what you said based on just the positional advantage there, is right. Like that is such an exciting build, right? Like you have a genuine top 5 first round
bona fide
points
star.
points per game player that is so much better, right now, as far as before the season starts, with expectation for points at the position. I think I'm going to go Kelsey at 5 for me.
I love that 100%. And the storm is pretty much passed us by, I think, which is good.
We lived.
So I think, yeah, we lived. No trees down. Power is still working. Family can still eat and live, which is good. Hope everybody else is safe out there. Please knock on wood if you're with me. But I love Travis Kelce this year, and I don't think he's going to fall in our draft to pick number 9 where I am, because he's not going to get past you at pick number 8 wherever you are. But I do love him, and if I can get him in a draft this year, I will. I'll be jumping in. I do agree. I agree with you. They're not going to be 100 points away. I think it'll be like 50 or 60 points away. But I still love getting Kelsey. It does wets my whistle.
Well, I mean, the other thing is too, with Andrews too. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to draft him this year. But just with Kelsey, I was off the Chiefs last year, right? I was just like, dude, they lost Tyreek Hill. This is a key part of their offense, and then they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't need anybody else. He only needs Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster. Again, a good piece for a Super Bowl winning team. Fantasy wide receiver 37 on the season, right? Travis Kelce is the engine that makes that offense go. So, Kadarius Toney is already injured. Like, Travis Kelce is going to continue to eat on this offense.
Always. Yeah.
I mean, just watching quarterback, I'm not all the way done with the last episode, but just watching them, with the cool, money Peyton Manning production, and just getting to see the field from different vantage points. Like, he's so open all the time. Like, they're just out there just doing weird little stuff. And he's like, there's not a player within like 5 yards of him, like, all the time. I don't understand it.
Well, what happens is he runs into the middle of the soft shell 2, the cover 2, and he just sits down behind linebackers, because they do a little ball fake to Pacheco, or they do a little sweep fake or whatever to Mecole last year. And then he just turns around, and then he catches it, and he runs like 5 or 6, 7 yards. And sometimes he can get through the safety
or 20
or 20. And then, and then he falls down and gets tackled. And then he goes, wow, woo. And then they're like, that was a good play. We should do that one again. And then they do it again, and they do it again, and they do it again. Yeah. Oh, I like it. Bo says my new sunglasses are giving off the "you've been detained" vibe. They should be giving off of the "you're under arrest" vibe. Nothing about being detained. You're going to jail is what you should. Yeah, that's the look I'm going for. My wife said they were terrible because they're just my regular glasses. She said, but with my sunglasses in, like, they're literally the same. And I said, you know what? That's fine, because I mean, they are. They're just, I took my glasses, and then they're a little cooler than that. But
all right. So look, do we all agree the first 5 picks is the Fantasy Millionaires?
Yes.
Those are the first 5 picks for the Fantasy Millionaires.
Consensus.
Okay.
Us, yes. And
What are you? What? All right.
You can debate, like, if you want to take Chaser or Justin Jefferson or whatever.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CMC, Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce. Those are your 5. Who are you going at 6? If you are on the clock.
If I'm on the clock, right? And here are your options, right? You've got Tyreek Hill, you've got Cooper Kupp, you've got Stephon Diggs, and then you've got CeeDee Lamb. These are the 4 wide receivers, right?
Right.
Or you've got Saquon. So those are some of the options too. Here's what I've noticed about the reaction this year, whether it's the pendulum swinging completely to this type of new hybrid wide receiver belief that, since it's a passing game, I'm going to just go wide receiver at the beginning. And that makes me feel good still. I don't know. It makes people feel good when they get out of their draft, when they start their draft, kind of what their conscience lets them do. But I would really love to start the draft, maybe wide receiver. I don't know. It depends. If I can't get Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek or
Austin Eckler.
But I love Tyreek Hill this year too.
Me too.
Tyreek Hill is my next pick. And
Me too.
he might, I mean, I need to know about Joey B, right? But Tua's got that same situation with him where there's injury that's baked in, Yeah, but Bo's right. Wide receiver is just freaking loaded. So I'm hoping in my home league that people just go, I need my RBs. I need my RBs. I'm still into RBs. I cannot get away from RBs. And some of these guys get pushed back to me at 9 or 10, wherever I'm at. Because I think Tyreek Hill this year, I drafted him last year. I bought the dip. People were not into Tyreek Hill. And he did great. He did ridiculously great.
All right, Mayor of Miami, listen
Yes.
to this, right?
Yes.
Listen to this, Mayor of Miami.
Hit me with
You became the mayor of Miami because you were joning on Tua. I was just, doing our little prep research for the show, and I was blown away by this. These are 2022 leaders, right?
Mhm.
Passer rating. Tua Tagovailoa, number one.
Oh, yeah.
105.5. Yards per pass completion, Tua. Adjusted net yards per pass completion, Tua. Passing TD percentage, Tua. Like, yeah, Tua. He was balling out. Like, you go look at all the passing stuff, and you're just looking at things like per game. Tua was doing his thing last year, and then of course he just got concussed. But if he's healthy, which he should be, I don't know. I think the field might be a little low on Tua. And again, part of the reason why Tua is having these numbers is because of that man right there. I mean, that guy is bananas.
Well, they gave him 170 targets. He caught 119 balls, 70%. That's better than Devontae Adams, 55%, better than CeeDee Lamb, 68%. Better than Justin Jefferson, 69. And then here's what you love. He only had 7 TDs. So if he does get more TDs, it's not like he was TD dependent. He was 15 TDs. It was targets. Dude's getting 10 targets a game. He's averaging 10. He's in the 10 plus club, right? On his jersey, there's 10, and he gets 10 targets a game. That's just how it goes. And so I do love him. I'm a big Tyreek fan.
Yeah, man. I mean, the mayor of Miami, dude. Listen. This might be a big Tua season if he stays healthy. So, I mean, Tyreek Hill was the number 2 wide receiver after that redonkulous season that Justin Jefferson had. Hey, there's Tyreek Hill at 2. So I'm with you. He's 6 for me. And he's moving up. He's moving up my board. To be honest with you,
you get him or Jamar Chase, you should be happy. You get him or Justin Jefferson, be happy. Be happy.
Right.
You've got a playmaker who's every single week has a potential to get you 15 to 40 points. Maybe 40, maybe 35 points. So, shout out coaches who vape. Mike McDaniel, you're the man. Mayor Miami approves of the vape, so I'm not gonna lie. All right. Next up is our aforementioned Cooper Kupp. Are you worried about that injury? He's got the hamstring right now. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. This is preseason, not really a big deal. What do you want to see though before you get in? I'll say August 27th to the 3rd of September. You're drafting in that week window. Where do you want to see Cooper Kupp progressing along the lines of being healthy for you to start your season, for you to pick him in the first round?
I gotta say, I am a little bit nervous right now. So this is August 7th, right? Right now, I don't like that he hurt his hamstring. So I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about the fact that he's 30, so he doesn't, you are officially not in your 20s anymore. Like the Wolverine mutant power healing stuff is not what it is in your 20s when you are now in your 30s. So I'm nervous. At the same time, he's Cooper Kupp. The value, if he is healthy, he is the elite of the elite in this league. Top 5 guys. You got your young guys now with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Then you have Tyreek Hill, and then you have Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams in terms of like talent at the position, right? I mean, his talent is so unstoppable. It's just, I gotta say, right now, if I'm drafting, I don't know, I might be nervous about the hamstring on August 7th. Thankfully our draft isn't, our home league draft isn't until September. So I'm going to wait and see. But are you smashing it right now? Bo
No,
didn't Bo?
No, Bo wants to ram it in dry like a Coke can. He wants just to. Oh, he wants a bottle of Mickey's. Mike knows about Mickey's. Yeah. I'm not on Cooper Kupp for right now, and here's one of the reasons why. First of all, PFF has rated the Rams offensive line 29th, right? And they have a rookie coming in to one of their starting positions. I'm just not sold on Matthew Stafford. People are on to Cooper Kupp. He's got that hamstring. That's an injury. That's a soft tissue injury. That's an injury that you normally you can recover from, but then it's not. Maybe it's indicative of him overcompensating or not feeling comfortable. Like injuries are caused by other injuries that you have, really, trying to recover from them or pressure on them or whatever it is. So it just does have me worried. If he falls to the second round, I'll buy it. I'll buy the dip. But in the first round, I'm not picking him until I'm just not in that first pick. I need my wide receiver one to be healthy. Now, if it comes and he's ready to go, and we're drafting and he's been practicing and there's no worries and the coach is like, nice, he's good. It's good to go. I'm okay, but I need to.
I'm mind melding with you so hard right now. Like if we were drafting, I'm glad we're not drafting today because we're on the exact same page with everything. So I think I would be, there's just other players that I'd be more excited about right now if I'm drafting. But again, we'll see, if people are listening to this in a month and Cooper Kupp looks good to go, right? Stephon Diggs.
The man is just. I mean, I know he runs away every postseason and cries and like says cryptic stuff on Twitter that Denny tweets about that like fulfills the prophecy. But it's still he's just one of the best route runners, hands, body control. I mean, and Josh Allen has got a cannon. And so, like, I don't know if anybody can catch that ball the way Stephon Diggs does. This guy's just a mercenary on the field. I love him as a Maryland guy, too. So I would draft Diggs over Kupp right now and probably later, too. Honestly, if Diggs falls to me,
I'm with you.
At 10, I will snatch his ass up quick.
I love the fact that Stephon Diggs is ECR consensus round one because like he's been moving in that direction. I think last year when we did our show, I think we put him in our round one picks, but he was right there. He was like, Devontae Adams this year. Like he was fringe. Like he wasn't just consensus, like, middle of the first round in a 12 pick league. So Stephon Diggs, man, hats off. And again, like compared to Cooper Kupp, it's just you feel safer at the moment because you just know he's just a little bit younger and he's on a much better football team that's going to have so many more red zone opportunities.
Oh yeah. More score. I like more end score. All right, well, we're moving through here. Speaking of hopefully having more opportunities this year, Dallas has gotten rid of Kellen Moore. Thank you, Bo. Bo McBrayer, by the way, not just a hot sauce expert, not just a sexy DFS expert on the sexiest show, Chalk Block in DFS history. It's been established now, world record, all that kind of stuff. But he's a Dallas Cowboys expert, which is I just feel so bad for him. It's like being an expert in like I don't know. Equal matter or something. I don't know. They're terrible. No, I'm kidding. But he's an expert and he knows this offense. And I'm listening to Bo. I want to know what Bo's take is on CeeDee Lamb. Is it CeeDee Lamb season for you? Are you drafting CD ahead of any of these other guys? Because I'm comfortable drafting him right there with Diggs because I do think this year he's going to continue to improve. He's going to continue to get more fantasy points per game. But what do you think, Mike?
I'll take Diggs over CeeDee Lamb.
Me too. Yep,
yeah,
me too.
Yeah, but I like CeeDee Lamb. Probably next. I think I could see myself coming right back for Cooper Kupp, depending on how stuff goes. Here's the only thing that I didn't really love last year for CeeDee Lamb. It's those big game factors, like his overall points per game. He had those, kind of 10.9 point games, and then he'd have a 40-point game, So, that just kind of shows you that when there's the right defense that they can bottle him up a little bit. That being said, he's 100% worthy of the first round. And right now, if we were drafting today, I'm putting him above Cooper Kupp on August 7th. I wouldn't be, again, like I love what you said about drafting, this whole thing. This is your build, right? So it's like, the best night of the whole fantasy season is the post draft night
Christmas.
and the glow,
Yeah.
because it's the vision that you have for your build, and you want to walk away with somebody that as a first round guy, you're just like, oh, I'm glad I picked him.
Yes.
And I think CeeDee Lamb gives you that feeling.
Yeah. Well, can I give you and Bo is right. He does have a better running mate this year with Brandon Cooks on the flank. You're right. To start the season last year, 10, 12, 10, right? That sucked. 18, 38, 10, 17, 20, 8. But then to end the season, 20, 34, 21. And then week 18 doesn't really matter. But those 3 playoff weeks, 20, 34, 21. I mean, you're averaging right in there 25 points per game. That's great. The last playoff. So in those games too, 7 for 7 in the first game against Jacksonville, 10 for 11 against Philly, and then 11 for 14 against Tennessee. So you're looking at so many targets. It's so sexy. He's getting 32 targets, and then he's got 28 catches. That's fucking ridiculous. Sorry for cussing, kids. Put the X label on our thing. So I love him. I'm okay with him or Diggs. I would love for him to fall, and I get Diggs, and then I come back and I get Lamb. You know what I mean? A little Diggs and Lamb. I would eat that for days. So
that sounds great.
Yeah, I'm with Bo. He is a superstar. All right, next up is we got a little bit of a glut of RBs. So we're going to go 3 RBs real quick. I'll show you who they are real quick so you can see who we're going to be talking about. Nick Chubb. We've got him in there as the kind of the 11th pick, and then rounding out, we've got Bijan. I don't have any stats for him. I don't want to put any college stuff up there because we're talking NFL, and he doesn't have any work yet. But Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, running backs have come in. PPR running backs have come in, and they've done really well. Their first rookie seasons, Kareem Hunt. So there's players that we know can be first rounders, and I think people are projecting him in there. So we'll get that take for you. Are you drafting him in the first round or not as well? But let's start with Saquon, because I think he's earned it. He fought with the Giants during the offseason. He's got a 1-year deal. He's on a prove it right now. And maybe they franchise him again because they're terrible people, but we'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think out of these last 3 guys, he's the only one that really in every league is going to go in the first round. Nick Chubb, I like that on our show we're putting him in the first round, but he's never been in the first round. Oh, perennially disrespected. Poor Nick Chubb. He's just as consistent as it comes. Never really been bitten by the injury bug. Just week in, week out grinds, gets you consistent points. I love that. I love Nick Chubb. Yeah. I mean, that being said, I'm going to take Barkley. I'm going to take Barkley over Chubbs. I've always been a Barkley guy, and I'm still a Barkley guy. And I think him being in the first round, I think again, it's a great build. Like, I think if he is your hero RB, and you're at the later side of round 1, there's a ton of value there. And I do think, again, with Brian DeBoer as the coach and them getting Darren Waller, it's just it's a slightly more interesting offense than like last year. Barkley was going, round 2, maybe round 3, depending on what time of the year you were drafting, and he was screaming value then, and he lived up to the hype. I mean, he's Saquon Barkley. Like, I mean, look at that picture. Look at that picture.
Right. He's like,
so,
bye.
Yeah, I'll take Barkley. I'll take Barkley right now. And I love getting the late round 1 value on him. So, and then Nick Chubb's, I like both those guys for a hero RB build.
Yeah. Bo's advocating for Pollard above Chubb, and Bijan too. I'm not going to disagree with you necessarily. I'm going to say this. I did see that. I tweeted that out today. I just put eyes on it. it was Elijah Moore in the backfield getting passes. And I'm not gonna lie, it moved. It did. Graham Barfield said something, and then I tweeted out, I have all my shares. All my shares. Like I never dropped him. I never dropped him when he sucked. I got shares. So I'm all about that. I'm gonna go for me, Saquon, Pollard, Bijan. That's how I personally am going to go. I did not put that in there because that's not how the ADP went, and that's not how the ECR went. So, but I'm advocating with Bo. I kind of like the Tony Pollard RB1 season has begun. Now, if they come back and sign Zeke right before the season starts, I'm just going to gouge my eyes out. But I really do love Pollard too. He's elusive. He's so fast, and the offense is going to have opportunities. So the red zone, the touchdowns, I got to give them to. Suspended Ronald Jones. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? This is dripping with Pollard this year, so I really like him.
So we're throwing out from our show because I want to throw out. You're throwing out Nick Chubb for Pollard.
I'll get him in the second round.
I'll throw out Nick Chubb and
Bijan.
And Bijan.
I did too, by saying Pollard, and then I think I'd take Devontae Adams before Bijan too.
How about AJ Brown?
Listen, I love AJ Brown, but I'm going to tell you, shout out Matthew Berry. I got to shout him out. He retweeted quote tweeted my call out of who I think is a ride or die this year, and I love AJ Brown, but my ride or die is Devonta Smith, and the reason is because if you look at the last 9 games of the season, they averaged the exact same amount of targets, the same amount of points. So, like, they were right there, the end of the season together. I'm not talking about playoffs. I'm just talking about in the fantasy season. And so, the beginning of the year, it was more A.J. Brown. You saw it against Pittsburgh. He dominated 3 touchdowns, right? Devontae Smith against Commanders. It's like, I can do what you can do, bro. Look what I got. And so I think that was a coming out for him. And ever since then, they were neck and neck every week, getting the same amount of targets, same amount of volume. So as a wide receiver too, you can get him a round and a half later. So I like it. But if I'm trying to get my guy, Devontae Smith, the poster boy for wide receiver 2 theory this season, I will shade away from A.J. Brown unless it's like ridiculous value and I'm getting him in like middle of the second round. Then, yeah, of course, I'm going to get him. I'm not going to sit past. But I do really like, Devontae Adams because, they're going to pepper that guy with targets. Even if his receptions, he had 55% was his reception rate last year because his balls were not great. So I think Garoppolo or whoever, Stidham, whoever's going to be there, Tom Brady, you got all the old Patriots quarterbacks over in Vegas. It's so great. They're just like these Josh McDaniels, let's go hang out. They're all there. So
yeah,
I like Adams, I think, above AJ Brown. But that's next week for me. But we're getting into it now. What do you think? Where are you with this?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see if there's who you wanted to throw out. Bijan Robinson is just very intriguing with Arthur Smith as his head coach and just how committed they are to the run. So I think it's worth, him talking, him being brought into the Fantasy Millionaires Round 1 show.
I'm not against it either.
I just love that dude. It's just, man, there is a ton of talent this year in the first 2 rounds. So definitely excited to talk, AJ Brown, Devontae next week. Bijan is going to be very exciting to see what he looks like on that offense, and just the way the Falcons were. It's interesting. I was, me and Bo were all in on Kyle Pitts last year, and Bo hates Arthur Smith because of the way he uses.
Right.
Well, it's interesting. I don't hate him as much. I hate him the way he uses Kyle Pitts, but I think I'm going to love the way he uses Bijan Robinson. So I do think that, he couldn't have gotten onto a better team. So that's why I think for what he's capable of doing, again, it's a rookie, and we're gonna, if he wasn't on the Falcons, I don't think he would be in ECR's, round one discussions. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be talking about him, but he is on the
Yeah.
Falcons.
Yeah. No, I think that you do see the running upside for sure, but it is Arthur Smith. He's not great at calling plays and managing the football game, and he's just like, what do you need? Maybe he grew up over the summer. Maybe he took a crash course.
When you watch that QB, quarterback on Netflix, like you kind of saw that like Marcus Mariota kind of lost him some, like they were hanging tough in a lot of situations.
They were.
Like,
He'd throw some pick sixes. He'd throw
he
pickles.
just would
he'd get
fumble
sacked,
randomly.
fumble.
Like it was like he was cursed. It sucked.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, I mean, I want to go back to Nick Chubb for a second because he is kind of in there. I like Nick Chubb if you are getting him in the second round and you went something like, Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb. I'm okay with that. I'm okay getting them on the back end, but I'm not comfortable going Nick Chubb. And then, I don't know, Devontae Adams, maybe if I can get him, maybe AJ Brown. I just don't like that. I don't like that. I'd rather do something different. I would rather definitely go Bijan or
it's
Pollard.
not a sexy round one pick, Nick Chubb. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that he's making, 444's ECR because, Fantasy Pros, I think he's where he always is. If you're looking at Fantasy Pros, he's like 18, and that's where he goes every year. It's like 18.
Right.
And he's so good. He's such a perfect pick at 18.
Yeah. No. Here I can pull it up because, I don't want people to think I'm lying. So let me change our screen real quick and let you guys know we do use 444. I love 444. I love a lot of the other different ranking systems too, but I'll use that. So let me share my screen and go to my 444. Okay. There we are. So as you can see, they have Nick Chubb at number 11.
Right.
So, and it's Jefferson, McCaffrey, Chase, Eckler, Kelsey, Kupp, Hill, Bijan, Diggs, Barkley, Chubb, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Jonathan. So this is how they shuffled it. I have Diggs up higher than Bijan. I kind of shuffled Bijan back down. I use more of the ECR over at Fantasy Pros. Honestly, that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Bo is a realist. I agree. Arthur Smith cannot be trusted. No, it's a hard situation with Bijan. He's a rookie too, which I'm not scared of. But a couple fumbles here and there, and then Arthur Smith's got to teach him a lesson, and then Kyle Pitts is talking to him, and you're like, oh no. So yeah, I'm going wide receiver too. Over Chubb. There's just too much to be gained in the wide receiver game now. Like the landscape has shifted. The cool part is hopefully your league mates are still not as progressive. Me and Denny and people like us wide receiver folk who like to focus on Matt Harmon. There's a whole crew of us, who really love wide receivers, and we put our money where our mouth is. We've won leagues. We've won, fantasy championships around the world. So I think this is a cool site for us, but it's kind of like they're catching on to us. So talk about it too. How do we react to this when we get into next week? We'll kind of talk about how we see the pendulum swinging. If people do go so wide receiver heavy, who are some of those RBs that fall into the second round who have upside? Like Pollard for sure. He's not on this list. We'll talk to him next week. I love Pollard. So if you get him, because wide receivers are getting attacked because people are just going with the consensus, then great. There's opportunity for you too. Grab a wide receiver and then get a good running back, in that second round. So, yeah. And then there's always the bully tight end too, which, not terrible if you get Kelsey and then get Pitts later, maybe get in the fourth round if tight end's not a big deal in your league, or third round. I don't know. All right. So now, first show has 3 tweets. I know we talked about it. We're gonna call it 3X, triple X. What are we gonna call it now? Triple X rated. We're going into the triple X section.
Triple X rated now.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with mine, and I'm gonna change the share screen real quick, and I got to make sure mine is up here. I think it is. Yeah. Hold on. This tweet went viral today for me. I'm not sure if you saw it, Collins. Did you see my viral tweet?
I did not.
Okay, good. Oh, excellent. All right. I need to actually find it now. you know, when you go viral, it's tricky because then you're like, where is it in my feed? You know, because it could kind of be anywhere.
Well, plus you tweet 3,000 tweets. You X a lot.
Yeah, I'm an
You have a
Xer,
lot.
bro.
Yeah, you have a lot of X's. A lot of
Yeah,
X and reacting.
Speaking of that, I had two people follow me today. Amy Trask, who was the first female NFL executive with the Raiders in NFL history, which is incredible. She followed me. She liked the tweet that I cannot find now in my feed. You know, which is, it's always good when you can't find the tweet. Let me find your tweet, since I can do that.
You want me
And
to
then,
send you yours? Because I can send it to you.
no. I'm gonna pull yours up. Do you want the first one or the second one for you? I saw this one. I did not. The first one. I saw this one. This is really funny. Okay, so let me pull it up, and then I'm gonna share the screen. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be fun. I'm excited about this. Oh, I did not see this. I saw it was on my feed, right? But I did not open it.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, the Steven Seagal one. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
In 2004, Steven Seagal released. Wait, go back. Let me read it. Pause it. Let me read it. Go back out. Minimize it.
Okay. Are you okay? Yeah.
All right. Yeah. In 2004, Steven Seagal released a dance hall song called Strut, in which he sings in a fake Jamaican accent. And his first line is, "Me want a poo nanny. Can't make this shit up." All right, now crank this jam. Crank Steven Seagal's Jamaican song.
Make me feel nice. Why? Tell me what you really want all night.
You want the bananas if it make me nice. Me love the way you walk sometimes, the way you talk is so hot. That's beautiful. Have a shot. Make me nice. Me love the way you walk. Some want the bananas if it make me nice.
All night.
You want the bananas if it make me nice. Me love the way you walk sometimes, the way you talk is so hot. Now you know, let's have a shot of rum. Then me can make you come.
Let me come make you come.
That would be fine. You can be my bow cat. Nice tight breeze. Bring it to your knees. You're jamming.
Hold on.
At the end.
We want to make you come.
You're jamming.
We're jamming.
So great.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. That's hilarious.
The best. This is the best. I was so excited when I found that. You hadn't heard that before, right?
No, I saw the tweet. I just did not I did not get into it. You know what I mean?
You didn't enjoy it.
No, I saw it. I just never clicked on it when it went by, you know.
Good.
And so it just
I'm glad to have brought it to our show for your pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna find it now for sure. My tweet. The tornado one. Okay, here it is. I found it. All right. I'm going to...
What's viral? How many likes?
Let's check and see when we get there. Hold on. Here we go. 15, almost 1,600 likes.
That's nice. That's viral.
So yeah. So here's the picture. Right.
And, yeah. I
Yeah.
did. You did show me. You sent this. Yeah.
I sent this to you. Yeah. I went through, saw it. And then there's basically just like, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, like 20 kids on here, 20 people on here. Right. And so I just made a comment, and my comment just was, pretty sure I'm stuck behind Phillip Rivers in traffic. And
nice.
Yeah, people liked it. So I Toots is back, you know.
Did you see? Is that really yours, or was that just from the internet? Like,
that's just from the internet. I just somebody said something like the on the meme. It was like, you know, pull out, bro, or something like that. You know,
right.
For me though, it looks like a Mormon family, honestly, because you've got different groups of families. You know, And as a pizza delivery man at Hungry Howie, shout out, you are an alum from the Howie's days in the Durhood. Shout out Denny, who still lives in the Durhood. But I would go to a house right across from Sequoia Elementary School, and one time they were like, "Hey, we're late. We got to go to the temple." And they're going like this, right? And I looked around, and there was like a bunch of kids, and then I saw like 3 different women, and then each of the kids looked like one of the different women because it was like 12. I delivered 10 pizzas to this house, right? And it was like dinner. It was just dinner, right? And the dad came in like a 6'5", big, tall, white guy, like, "Hey, how's it going, Dad?" 15 girls came and hugged him, and I just started noticing, like, okay, that's a short little fat girl. That's the mom. She's short and fat. I was there many times, and I was like, it could be. So I'm gracious of all religions,
That's
you know.
awesome.
So like, I think this is a Mormon, but no, I just thought it was funny, and so yeah, I wanted toots. But I think you win because yours. I mean, I peed my pants a little bit when you showed me him going, we're jamming at the end. Steven Seagal, what a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, all right, let me go back to you and see the other tweet that you had. It's a rich.
I'm not going to top that, but and maybe you saw this before too. But this one's, it's not necessarily a make you chuckle one, but it is it's pretty wild that this actually happened, and this is why I love X, because you get exposed to these kind of things on X.
X marks the spot. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It says
Messi impersonator smashed 23 girls pretending to be Messi. Some of the women are mad, saying they wouldn't have smashed if they knew it wasn't Lionel Messi.
I mean, that guy does look a lot.
I can't tell who's who. Which one's the real one?
I think this is the fake Messi right here.
I think that's the fake one too, but
and then this is the real Messi. Look how tiny the real Messi's hands are there. It's really funny like that. How it looks. But no, yeah, that's terrible, man. That guy should be, if he told them that he was Messi, if he was at a party, he was like, "I'm Messi." Like, if he lied to them and then had sex with them, like in Europe, I think
against law.
I think it's against the law.
For that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Europe, if you do that, I don't know where he did this, but in America, you can do it. That's called Tinder.
In America, they say "God bless you" when you do stuff like that.
In America, this guy's gonna get his own talk show.
Oh yeah, right. He'll be on Jersey Shore pretty soon.
The reunion. He might be the moderator.
He'll make it on the reunion. They'll be like, "There's the Messi impersonator."
Someone won't think it's really messy. Yeah.
One of them will probably have sex with him. They'll be like, "It wasn't him."
No, Snooki, no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta tell you, this has been tremendous, as it always is. So this has been the first iteration of round 1. We'll get into round 2 and 3 next week, and we'll be back. We're not sure when, because Fantasy Millionaires are going to the Fantasy Football Expo. So if you are there Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, check us out. We'll be there. We'll say hi. We'll hang out. We got a spot over by Canton. We're really close, and we're there to mingle. Look for me. I'll be rocking my Joey Porter Senior Miami Dolphins jersey. By the way, this is trolling 2 fan bases here. This is the mayor of Miami, but then also the Piper of Pittsburgh. Joey Porter is a big Pittsburgh guy. So he basically, what that story is, I'll tell you right now. He told his son when he wasn't picked to take it personal. And that's just not how, listen, don't take it personal, because guess what? Because you didn't get picked in the first round, the Steelers got you. It's awesome. It works out great. You get to go to the team that your dad. Don't take it personal, right? Instead, use it as an opportunity wherever you go to do your best, right? This chip on the shoulder stuff, it's not going to work, right? It doesn't. Tom Brady even came out and said it to the quarterbacks. People kept saying to me, Tom Brady. Tom Brady said to Will Levis, doesn't matter where you get drafted, bro. It matters how you play. So, just want to put that out there. That's why I'm wearing this. So come up to me at the expo, say what's up, Mayor of Miami. I'll sign your jersey if you want. You know what I mean? I got a signature out there. So anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, let the games begin. Let the drama, let the war, let the saga of the 2023 fantasy football season kick off. War, destruction to your opponents. Learn what you can. All of that in the fantasy world. Peace and love everywhere else.
Everywhere else. Have a great season, everybody.